Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Ethereum and its valuation against USD and against Bitcoin. If you guys like the content, subscribe to the channel. Let's go for 100,000 subscribers. Give the video a thumbs up. Also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So Ethereum right now is trading at 1217. And this is one of those, we can easily talk about that analogy that we've discussed before, generally speaking, that, Bitcoin is like a dog and it just goes and goes and goes and goes, and it's hard to get it to calm down, and it will spook Ethereum, which is kind of like a cat. Once the dog is out of the room and no longer going crazy, then the cat will come out to play. Now, we're getting into one of those times yet again where volatility on Bitcoin is reducing. Okay, we see the volatility of Bitcoin reducing, which is what we would want to see for Ethereum. One of the things we can note is that, this is a 1 hour chart, so I don't think it's really that useful. But one of the things we note is that every time that Bitcoin dips down, Ethereum does not, reacts in kind, and it dips down as well. However, if Bitcoin keeps recovering and continues to bounce off this line, then it could yield another Ether Bitcoin pump. Okay? Now, this is not financial advice, and obviously it could be wrong, because at the end of the day, predicting short-term moves is essentially impossible. But with that said, one of the things we know just from our observations of the market over years now is that Ethereum likes to move whenever Bitcoin volatility calms down and when Bitcoin is bullish. This is what we know. Okay? So from my perspective, what's happening is Ethereum bulls are more or less waiting for confirmation that Bitcoin is going to hold here. And if it does, and Bitcoin does hold here, these are 1 hour charts, and we start to see it come back up, then I think there's a decent chance of seeing an Ether breakout yet again against Bitcoin. Okay? Now, this is the 1 hour Ether chart. And again, we don't typically talk about 1 hour charts. We've analyzed the daily charts and the weekly charts. There's really not a whole lot more we can say at this point, except, it's the same stuff. We're just playing everything one day at a time at this point. But, if you look at the 1 hour chart for Ethereum, it is trending up since January 11th. January 11th, we bottomed around 900. We came up here to 1155, back down to 975, back up to 1254. We came down here to 1121 with a wick down to 1063, back up to 1293, and then back down to 1215. So Ethereum is in fact trending up. And if this trend were to continue, which of course there's always a good chance that it doesn't, but if it did, then it could imply us getting to a $1,400 Ethereum within a few days. This one would have us getting there by January 20th if this trend were to simply continue. And clearly we're sort of at the time that I'm making this video, by the time you guys see it, the direction could have already been decided. But it seems like we're coming back here to figure out what's going to happen. Ethereum is coming back down to our general uptrend move here. In the same manner, Bitcoin is coming down right here to the same general uptrend that it's been on. So it seems to me, and again, short-term moves are very irrational, but it seems to me that if Bitcoin were to hold and start moving back up and showing a little bit of bullishness here in the short term, with the diminished volatility that Bitcoin is experiencing right now and its bullishness in terms of extension from the 20-week moving average, it seems like we could get a nice move back up. And the next move back up, if this were to play out and Bitcoin were to hold this level and push back to say 36K, 36.5, maybe even 37K, it seems if that were to happen, then the next push by Ethereum might be the one to take us to the prior all-time high. I mean, it's obviously too hard to know. And again, we don't typically look at 1 hour charts, but obviously when the markets are this crazy and everything is basically looking at Bitcoin, okay, and saying, okay, where the hell are you going? Are you going up? Are you going down? And every time Bitcoin trends back down, we see a temporary bleed of altcoins. However, these coins are quick to respond. These coins are very quick to respond the minute Bitcoin recovers. So, in the same manner, I mean, if you look at the dominance of Bitcoin, it has broken down. And one of the things we said on a stream recently was, are we breaking up to either Bitcoin capitulation or a Bitcoin new all-time high? Meaning volatility for Bitcoin in either direction, up or down, would likely cause the dominance to go back up. Or the alternative is, right, up, down, or sideways. The other one is sideways. And if Bitcoin goes sideways, which it's doing, as you guys can see over the last few days, we've said this all along. If Bitcoin goes sideways, then alts will move. And you can see that the price of Bitcoin has more or less been going sideways for the last few days. And because it's been going sideways for the last few days, the dominance has been dropping. Look at this. This is the 15th. Over the last couple days, Bitcoin went up, back down, back up, back down, back up, back down. Just pretty low volatility. And during that time, the dominance of Bitcoin has dropped approximately 2.3%, 2.2% or so. So we see how alt season is derived. We've talked about this before. If you think it's some like nebulous thing that just spontaneously happens occasionally, it's just simply not true. It really does depend on Bitcoin volatility diminishing while Bitcoin is bullish. That's typically what it relies on. Now, of course, there might be some occasions where that it doesn't work out exactly like that. But when Bitcoin's in a bull market and Bitcoin is either moving up and printing new all-time highs or capitulating like this, then altcoins bleed not only against USD, but they generally bleed against Bitcoin. But when you see it start to chop sideways, then on those down moves, a lot of coins will bleed, but the minute Bitcoin shows a little bit of resilience, they just come right back, and usually stronger than they were on the prior pump. So with Ethereum, it's sitting at 1220. It seems to me, again, that if Bitcoin holds this level and can push, either stay here or push back up to 36K, 37K over the next few days, then I personally would not be surprised to see Ethereum make a run at the title. I personally would not be surprised if that were to happen. So the thing to watch would obviously be, does Bitcoin hold the 35K level? And again, if it comes below these lines are pretty crudely drawn. It's not like you can't have moves below it. And even if it were to come down here and start a new trend, it's still possible that Ethereum would drop and then recover and then try to make a run at the title again. But it seems to me in the short term, as hard as it is to call short-term things, it appears that if Bitcoin can move back up and show that the show's not over, then Ethereum is ready to move. And if we look at the Ether Bitcoin valuation, we can see that the momentum is taking Ethereum up against Bitcoin. And one of the things we've noted yet again, and we'll just always try to consistently discuss it, these 20-month and 50-month moving averages of Ether Bitcoin, really great support, right? Which is what we talked about for months over here as resistance. Now we have it as support. The 50-month being our top back in the summer. So if we can move back up to that level, then we're looking at a valuation of around 0.0415, 0.0416, somewhere in that ballpark. So that's not to say that Bitcoin can't, or that Ethereum can't move higher than those levels. It's just to say that if it were to get to those levels, the risk would obviously be a lot higher. So we'll see where Ethereum goes. As I've always said, I think it's good to be cautiously optimistic. Uh, if Bitcoin says, okay, enough, we need to go down lower for a while, and then we'll trend back higher. Obviously, Ethereum will likely join it in reducing its USD valuation. But if Bitcoin simply holds, there's a decent chance Ethereum runs. One of the things we've talked about too is the Ethereum moves. The last moves occurred on last weekend and the weekend before, and one of them started on a Saturday and one of them started on a Sunday. And obviously, we're going into Sunday now. The beginning of the week seems to not, the move for Ethereum over the last couple weeks, they've lasted a couple days once they get going. And so one started Saturday and went into Sunday, and then I think the other one started Sunday and went into Monday. So obviously this isn't really that meaningful, but yeah, it's one of those examples of maybe the stars aligning. If Bitcoin can hold this level and Ethereum also holds its level, and by association that Bitcoin is not putting in new all-time highs and Bitcoin volatility is staying low, then this trend hopefully will continue. Remember the end of December, and we've said it all along. Ethereum is up 50% since the end of December against Bitcoin, and hopefully we're just getting started, right? I mean, hopefully we're just getting started, and this move will last for a while, and it obviously depends on it ultimately does depend on where Bitcoin heads. So this is one of those videos where I just want to give people a general update on the market. Obviously, things are slow for Ethereum over the last couple days, but you can see the rest of the market has been flying. I mean, the ones we covered, Link is at $20, A is at 36 cents, Dot's at $17. The market's flying. I think Ethereum is just waiting for a little bit more confirmation from Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin capitulates, then these other coins stand to lose a lot. And if Bitcoin does capitulate, then Ethereum will likely not be as bad off as some of the ones that have had significant or even more significant moves in the short term. So Ethereum, as we said, is more like a cat. Bitcoin is like a dog. The cat will come out to play if Bitcoin, the dog can calm down and stop scaring Ethereum back into its corner, and just leave it alone for a couple days. Let Ethereum make yet another move against Bitcoin. We're about to end the week very soon, so the next weekly candle maybe will take us closer to 0.04, but we'll certainly follow it systematically throughout the week to see how everything transpires. So if you guys like the content, remember to subscribe to the channel. Let's go for 100,000 subscribers. Give the video a thumbs up. Also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. The things to watch in the short term, in my opinion, Bitcoin. If it holds, hopefully Ethereum can get back in business. If it doesn't, obviously there's the downside risk. So subscribe, turn on alerts to be notified of future videos. We also have the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com if you want access to exclusive content, including weekly reports, weekly videos, a Telegram alerts channel, a Telegram chat room, a risk dashboard, a whole lot more. Make sure you guys check it out, intothecryptoverse.com. That'll wrap it up for the video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.